Hey guys, Chris from the Ultimate Recycler. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to talk about eBay and e-waste. Now, I know a lot of you are scrappers and some of you go street scrapping and picking up e-waste from the side of the streets. Others run e-waste businesses. Some just turn up electrical stuff as a matter of whatever else they're doing. And your best value isn't always scrapping it. In fact, that's often the lowest return from e-waste. Now, some things you can't fix and really there's not much option, and that's fine. You scavenge what you can out of them. But I've been doing really well on eBay lately, and I've suggested that in a couple of recent videos, and I've finally got a bit of my eBay mojo back, and we're actually making some pretty good money. So this video, I thought I'd show you some of the things I've picked up recently. I'll show you how well they're doing on eBay. I've just sold another item this morning, got a few more bids on something else. And I found something here that might surprise you, and I think it's a good lesson. I'll see if I can hold it up. This is a vintage massager. I think it's called a swing massager. You're supposed to put your ankles in there, lie down on the floor, and it basically rocks them back and forward. I wouldn't have seen any value in this, but it might surprise you what they're worth. So the message here is, don't always just scrap things. Have a look at the resale of them, even if they're not working. If you are capable of fixing them, well, that's what I try and do, and you can get more money for them, of course. But I've got a few good ones here just to share with you. So let's have a look, perhaps on eBay and what I've sold so far and what I've got ticking over. Then we'll look at some of the things I've got coming up shortly. Okay, let's have a look at a few I've got on at the moment, and this one's doing particularly well. It's a Fujifilm FinePix digital camera. We'll open that in a new link and have a look. And it came in a box of e-waste. The guy was just cleaning up because he was moving house. He didn't tell me anything about the stuff, but this charger was with this. It's a pretty sleek purple looking digital camera with the cords and an SD card and the battery, and I charged the battery up, worked fine, and I went through the camera operations and did lots of good pictures of it. I don't know what happened with that photo. And look at the price, $172.50, 14 bids. Bit of a photo there to show that the screen was working fine. And it's still got 5 days to go. Now, I don't think there's much more bidding activity left in this. I think that's probably going to top it out. I did check the completed results, and a few of them were selling for around $200. So how's that? $172, still with 5 days to go. And yes, there's going to be fees through eBay, but it's about 15%. And really, as anyone that dabbles in e-waste knows, you're not going to get any value out of a camera as far as scrap metal goes, or saleable electronic circuit boards or anything like that. So there's a really good success story on that one. I'm charging postage on top as well. It will go in a standard size postage satchel in Australia for $10.90. The next one is another camera, and even though it's a film camera, so I guess it's still technically e-waste because it takes a battery. I've got that at $100 start price. It hasn't had a bid yet, but there are 5 watches on it. And I did check, where are we? I did check completed items, and some of these were selling for around a couple of hundred again. So these vintage 35mm point and shoot cameras do get pretty good money nowadays. This one is in excellent condition, but I haven't tested it because I didn't want to buy film for it, but all the functions seem to work okay, and it's nice and clean. There was only one little issue with it. I think it had, let's sneak through the pictures here, I think it had a little bit of corrosion in the battery cap, but everything else looked okay. So I think we'll get our $100 for that, hopefully, but again, not worth anything for scrap metal. The other one I put on the same day was a Panasonic Camcorder, and it has actually just gone up this morning. I started that at $80. It's had 5 bids now, up to $102.50. Still got 6 days to go. And again, I tried to get as accurate, well, really nice pictures as I could to show the condition of it. And I charged the battery up as well, and all the functions seemed to work. Even the cassette in there actually had some pre-recorded stuff of someone sitting in a lounge room watching TV or something or other. And again, I showed that it was in operational condition. And yeah, that's some of the footage that's actually on the tape, which was rather interesting. But there you go. You know, people throw these into the e-waste bins or drop them into my shop, and they're just cleaning up, and sometimes they don't know if they work. Sometimes they're just old and they'd got a new one and they don't want the old one anymore, and a lot of people could not be bothered trying to retail them. $102, 6 days to go. I'm not sure where this one will end. Let's go back to our active page. That's all that I've got with current activity, but I have sold some of these. And those of you who've been watching for a while may remember I unpacked a box full of old chargers and I estimated $20 for the lot. Well, there was 5 of these Uniden handheld UHF chargers in there, then they all looked like they were new old stock. So I made a listing at $40 each and had 5 available. I've sold 2 already, and they're paying postage on top of that. So it was about, what are they paying, $50.90. So if I sell all of them, that's about $200 less fees. So that's a lot better than the $20 I estimated for the entire box. And they're selling well. I've just put these as a buy it now because I could establish, you can still buy these new, and I knew pretty accurately what price they should go for. So I just made them cheaper than any of the others on the market, only by a few dollars, and they're selling. So that's going pretty well. If I go to completed items, or what items have actually sold, you can see that one of those is sold. I also sold this Apple TV media streamer. I got $162.50 for this, and it was again in perfect condition, and the remote was with it and the cords, and I took it home and tested it on my TV here. I don't have an Apple account. I couldn't go into any of the actual functions, but I could demonstrate that it powered up, and I think I've got a picture in here of the home screen on my TV. There we go. So it works great. Again, just thrown out in the e-waste. People just don't care sometimes, and I'm happy to take advantage of that. $162. There was 16 bids, so that was pretty nice. There's the other one of those Uniden Chargers that had sold, and a few of you will know that I did have success selling one of these Sony Trinitron monitors at $214. The guy that came to pick that up in the shop actually bought another monitor that I had in the shop and I hadn't tried on eBay for $100. So that's one advantage, I guess, of having people come to your shop to pick up things rather than post them out on eBay. Now back to that massager I showed you earlier. Who would have thought these things bring over $200? A completed item search on eBay shows that there's been 3 sold in Australia in the last 30 days. Or I'm not sure how long this search criteria is. It might be 60 days. One of them $295 plus $50 postage. Of course, someone may have picked it up. This one $299, but they did offer free postage. And this one was a best offer accepted. They must have put make an offer and someone offered them $200 and they marked it as sold with $35 postage. So that's crazy. How many of you, if you spotted one of these things on the side of the road, let's scroll down, how many of you would have picked it up and thought to resell it? I know most scrappers would just chop the cords off. Most of it's plastic. There's probably an electric motor in there. There is a remote control, but there's no real value in that, e-waste wise. So most people would just clip the cords off it and probably leave it on the side of the road, and they're bringing over $200 every go. And if I go back to this page and we browse internationally, every one of them is sold. Look at the dollars. They're all over 200. That's 198. These are in the States. But not one of them has remained unsold. So I don't know why they bring money. I don't need to know. I think the important message here is that we need to check things, because some people see value or have a use for something which we may not see value or have a use for. I think it's always worth a quick check on eBay completed items. And here's a quick test of this thing working. I'm not sure how comfortable it would be with your legs going back and forward like that, but anyway, as I said, I don't need to know why people buy it, as long as they pay me, pretty much. It's going to cost a little bit to post that. I could also have pickup only, I guess. Let's turn that off. But I have also the advantage because I can do a test and tag ticket for it. I guess that could give people confidence as well to bid a bit higher. I'm going to start that on eBay at $200 plus postage, and I think I'll probably quote about $30 postage. And I'll run it as an auction first time, so it might get up to $250. If it just has one bid at the end, that's fine. I'm pretty confident that it will. Some other things that have just come in the e-waste recently, I've got a few of these Uniden handheld UHF transceivers. They're absolutely as new condition. They look fantastic with chargers. So there's actually 2 of these, and this is a different model. But I think these will all go fine on eBay. I've tested these. One of them, the charger flashed red, and I took the batteries out, and they're old rechargeable AA batteries. So I've ordered some new batteries for them because I did swap the few good batteries around that I had, and they charged up perfectly fine, and they worked beautifully. And I could even pick up some of the truckies talking on the highway a couple of kilometres from here. So I know they work. I would expect a pair of those with new batteries to bring maybe $150, maybe a couple of $100. I'm not sure, but again, it should be a pretty good return. This one here may make $80 or $90 perhaps. I think it's a better radio, but I've only got the one, although it has got the extension microphone speaker, and I didn't have the actual Uniden charger. It's got the cradle, but I have a standard 12 volt charger that will supply it, and it does charge up fine, and the battery is okay in that one. So we're looking at potentially another $300 there in little radios. And I also have a stack of VHS players. In fact, these combo units, the DVD VHS players, can bring pretty good money. In fact, I think the Panasonic down the bottom can bring $300 or $400 secondhand. So I need to clean these up and get them on eBay as well. The basic VHS player, unless it's a particularly sought after model, I'll probably just put in the shop, because you know, there's going to be a bit involved with postage on those, and eBay do take fees out of your postage amount as well. But for the ones that are really sought after, I like the auction format, and I think we'll get the best return. And just the other day, I also got this little Sony Handycam with charger, and that seems to be in good working order as well. So there's possibly another $100 or so. I've got to list that one yet. So it just goes to show that there's a lot of value in e-waste that isn't e-waste scrap, and it's certainly worth checking. I've shown you well over $1,000 worth of stuff here, and how long would it take you pulling things apart to get $1,000 worth of scrap? Yeah, sure, eBay charges fees, but it's a great method of selling stuff, of finding the right person for the right item. And generally, eBay is pretty good with people. They don't let you down so much. There is that feedback system. I don't usually have eBay problems. More the trouble is the postal service being a bit slow. But there you go. Just a bit of an insight on how I can make some extra money being an e-waste scrapper without actually scrapping things. Thanks for watching, guys. We'll catch you in the next video. Bye for now.